This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning and thanks for getting up with us on your Sunday. I'm China Green. This morning on Sunrise, 2 people in Vancouver escape when their car is swallowed by a sinkhole. Hear from the woman who went through that ordeal and how she managed to get out of the vehicle safely. Plus, a Southwest neighborhood is now begging PGE to do better after they were trapped by down power lines from this week's winter storm. How some of those lines are still keeping people confined to their homes. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast. Good morning, Daisy.
Hey, good morning, China. Good morning to all of our viewers. Happy Sunday to you. Taking you straight to Portland's living room, where, of course, we can still see some of the leftover snow that many of us are still seeing, unfortunately, on our sidewalks, some roads, of course. But the good thing is we, of course, are starting to warm up and will only get warmer from here. A little light at the end of the tunnel. We're currently 37 degrees in the Rose City. Of course, it is also raining. Now, while it is raining, some folks in the gorge are actually dealing with freezing rain, which I'll show you that in just a second. But many of us are actually above that freezing degree mark, 37 out in Troutdale, 38 in King City. But of course, where we're still seeing that freezing rain threat, 31 in the Dalles and 26 degrees for the Pendleton area. So this is that salmon color, of course, that we have been extensively talking about, and we'll continue to see that, and that threat will continue, all the way until right about 4 o'clock this afternoon. But we have a lot more to talk about coming up in my full forecast.
Daisy, thank you. PGE has made significant progress in restoring power in the past 36 hours, but roughly 2,300 customers remain in the dark this morning. Over the past week, they say they've addressed power outages affecting around 300,000 households. PGE says they expect most homes will have power again by the end of this week. TriMet still struggling to get back to normal, though. They say that they are having to chip away at the ice that has not melted from the MAX lines and the platforms. MAX service is still suspended in some lines. The Green Line partially back between the Gateway Transit Center and Clackamas Town Center. It's the blue, orange, and yellow lines are fully up and running, so good to go there. And a reminder, the red line is down because of a scheduled construction. Most of the buses, though, back to their regular schedules, but some lines are suspended or detoured because of road closures or hazards in the roads.
We're up to our knees with water, and it's just slowly sinking down. It's happening so quickly.
A Southwest Washington couple faced the unthinkable when the SUV fell into a sinkhole in Vancouver. Now, thankfully, the couple was able to escape with only minor injuries, but Ashley Grams has their story.
Early Saturday morning, water rushed through an intersection in Vancouver, Washington.
We seen there was water on the road, and we're like, what's this?
Caitlin Bicknell and her boyfriend drove through the water. She couldn't have guessed what would happen next.
As soon as we took the corner, it just was like a roller coaster. It immediately front end went down.
Their Jeep fell into a sinkhole.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand, did this just happen? Is this real life?
Bicknell says her boyfriend was composed and tried to help her out of the car.
I was panicking. During that time, my boyfriend, he was very calm and was rolling down the windows, telling me what to do, go out through the window.
The car quickly filled with water.
Slowly sinking down and filling with water, just like the movies, so you could see literally the floorboard just flood.
Bicknell and her boyfriend escaped, her out the door and him out the window. But the Jeep was stuck at an angle, hinging on the hole in the middle of the street.
I mean, that's like what one of the cops said to me. He's like, I've never seen this before. And everybody was in awe.
Patrick Gaines lives down the street. He saw the water on the road and the emergency lights.
I thought, oh, okay, it possibly is a car accident. And as I got closer, I'm like, wait, no, that's a car that's in a hole.
It doesn't feel real.
Vancouver police say a water main broke and caused the sinkhole to form just after 1 in the morning. Fortunately, Bicknell walked away with just a few bruises. Her boyfriend wasn't injured.
So I'm very thankful it happened to us and not an older person.
Now, it's hard to believe that a sinkhole was ever here, but thanks to Vancouver Public Works, the hole is filled and the water leak is repaired. In Vancouver, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.
There it goes.
Another tree down in southwest Portland. This happened last Saturday as storms were just starting to move in. It's just one of hundreds of trees that have fallen throughout this week as we battled snow and the freezing rain. Storm system finally moved on, but cleaning up the damage might take weeks, even months, and the impact of storms still putting lives in danger. A southwest neighborhood is now begging PGE to do better after they were trapped by down power lines that are still keeping some stuck inside. Sydney Dorner has that story.
In this neighborhood behind me in southwest Portland, some residents have been trapped inside their homes since Thursday. With down power lines and trees, they say they just want answers on which wires are live. Neighbors on Park Hill Drive and Park Hill Way in Southwest are frustrated. Power lines had them trapped when trees fell and took out their power Thursday evening.
The tree came down and the power lines started snapping, and my neighbors right behind me, a tree came down in their backyard and a wire fell, and it's now drooping between our houses.
The downed tree kept residents from being able to get in and out of the neighborhood.
We had somebody fall, a traumatic event. They ended up in the ICU, trauma ICU at OHSU, and now we couldn't get an emergency vehicle through here if we needed to, or people get out if they needed to.
The tree blocking the neighborhood was eventually moved, but the two streets still have downed power lines throughout their lawns and backyards. Residents say the recent death of a family due to falling on power lines has scared them.
We're just begging them to let us know which wires are live. We'll take the tree down ourselves. We'll get rid of the tree for you. We've got chainsaws. We're ready to help.
PGE says people should assume any downed or sagging line is live, urging people to keep 50 feet away. PGE responded in a statement saying they are taking appropriate actions for public safety and responded to the scene Friday night. The tight-knit neighborhood says they don't expect to be moved up on the long line of homes that still need power but do want answers. Residents say there are still two families stuck inside. Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
A flood watch has been issued for portions of southwest Oregon until tomorrow morning. There's also a big concern about landslides. Curry County near the coast is expecting 2 to 5 inches of rain over the weekend. Heavy rainfall is a landslide trigger in areas of steep terrain. And while it does rain a lot in Oregon, geologists say too much rain without time for the ground to drain properly can be a recipe for disaster.
Debris flows are the ones that we're really concerned about for life safety, and that's because they can move really fast. They can move tens of miles per hour. And so if you're traveling through areas like under burn scars or along roads that go through some of these burn scars, you want to be extra careful.
Burns add that land, which slid before, tends to slide again. And he does reiterate this threat is strictly for southwest Oregon.